Hi all, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira, and today guys, we are going to be trying some new makeup. I've got some goodies over here that I want to share with you, and some of these I've used before, some of them I haven't. Most of them I have though. You guys, I know I tend to like to demo things before I get on camera with them, so I will say that the majority of these I have in fact tried before, but I've got some fun things for you. I've got the new Nomad Chamoix Apres-Ski. I hope I'm saying that right. I've used this in a video before. In fact, I was wearing this exact same sweater. And that's why I decided to wear it again, because I'm like, actually the vibes were vibing, so I just decided to wear the same sweater. So if you saw my last video, I was wearing this sweater and I was wearing this really pretty color on my eyes. It was this palette. It was this palette, and it was some of these shades right here. So we're going to be using that. I also have the new Natasha Denona, so we're going to be using this one as well. I have some fun stuff, some new stuff from Salt New York, so we're going to be trying some of these. I've got a new concealer. I'm going to be trying the Westman Atelier, which I have used, but I will be trying on camera for you guys. And then I've also got a stick foundation that I have demoed for myself, but I haven't like fully applied, and I haven't like quite gathered my thoughts about it yet. So this is the Bobbi Brown foundation stick. And then I've got a couple other things here. So yeah, let's get into it. I did something different with my lighting on the side, so tell me if you like it. I'm not sure how I feel about it, so I'm gonna have you guys be, the judges, because you're gonna be seeing the video itself. So let's start off with foundation. So like I said, I have the Bobbi Brown stick. It looks like this. I don't think this is my shade. I had another shade that I thought was a pretty good match based on the model and the swatches on the website. When I got it in person, it was so not the right shade. I don't think their swatches are as accurate as they should be for the shades. So this one is quite warm, and this is shade Honey, and it's W064 Honey. And I thought this one would be a good one, but as you can see, I feel like it's quite warm, quite orange, quite peachy toned, and they have this as like they say it's a, what do you call it, like a neutral warm? No. So we'll see how this looks. I have bronzer here to sort of help it along, so we'll see. But yeah, I told you guys I really wanted to try to dip my toes into trying stick foundations, and I tried this one, and then I tried a sample of the Westman Atelier stick foundation, and I did not like that. I did not like that, and my skin did not like that. And all I could think, and I actually talked about it a little bit on my Instagram stories. I didn't say what I had on, but I said on my Instagram stories that I had tried a foundation that I hated. And it's very rare for me to like truly hate a foundation. It takes a lot for me to hate a foundation. And that one I hated. It made my skin look bad. Like I don't have I have pores, like I'm a human, I have pores, I have all those things, but it made my skin look like I had skin issues that I haven't dealt with in years, like it just made my skin look really like textured and, flaky and just like weird. And I'm just like, I don't have that as an issue like that. I've been on tretinoin for some years now. There's just certain skin issues I don't deal with anymore. I still deal with occasional breakouts and things like that. But for the most part, did I just drop my brush? Yes, I did. I dropped my brush. That's so annoying. So I'm going to get a fresh one. It's a different one. It's a more fluffy one, but that might work fine with this. And this is one of those Fude Fupa brushes that I love. This is such a great brush for blending. So this actually might work out better. So like, as you can see, the shade is not quite right. Not quite right. But we'll see. We'll see. I feel like if I like it enough, I might get in a different shade, but I haven't worn it enough to really like make my feelings, like to solidify my feelings. So I placed that on. I don't know how I feel about the way it's sitting. It's not terrible, but it's doing the thing that the Westman Atelier did. And I don't know if you guys can see here, but I just feel like it's giving me tons of texture on my nose and in here, which I don't deal with that. So in that sense, I'm just kind of like, oh. And maybe this is just like foundation stick issues. If so, it's clear that foundation sticks are not for me. I'm not going to set my face because this is quite Like it's not sticky or tacky. It feels like it's set on its own. So I'm going to just go in with my concealer. And this is the Westman Atelier concealer, and this is in the shade Atelier M4. I've been using this for a while now since I got it. I've been living with it, really trying to see how I feel about it. And I actually really like it. I hated the foundation, the like foundation stick, but I loved the concealer. I think the concealer is great. It kind of reminds me of, did I bring a concealer brush? I don't know. I did not. Hold one moment. I'm back with a concealer brush. Dirty, sure. I've been using it. All my brushes need to be cleaned, but yeah. I've been really liking it. It kind of reminds me of the House Labs, but a little less matte. It's still kind of like a satin finish, satin matte finish or natural finish, but it's just a little less matte and a little less, slightly less coverage. I feel like it's just like slightly less pigmented, but not by a ton. Not by a ton. But I do like the way this looks on the eyes. It kind of gives me that same feeling that the House Labs does. So if you have the House Labs, I don't know if you need this one. I got this one because I was interested in trying more with Westman Atelier, and I still want to try more Westman Atelier. I'm very glad that I did not buy that stick foundation. I had a sample, and so now I know to stay away, and I will maybe try their other foundation that they have, the one that's kind of like a skin tint. I might try that one, but I will be staying far, far away from that stick foundation. All right, so I'm just going in with my usual bronzer to sort of give my skin to help it out here because it is looking not quite right. So I'm just gonna go in and kind of just warm my face up a bit. It's already helping, look at that. But yeah, so I don't know how I feel about stick foundations just based off of the two that I've tried so far. This one, which now that I've put the concealer on, it's looking better, but it's still looking quite textured around my nose. I think what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna spray my face with some setting spray. I'm not putting setting powder on, but I think my skin might actually really like that. Because right now it's feeling quite, and you can kind of see it's quite matte. Like I'm not used to super matte skin. It's not really my vibe. I tend to like skin that's like natural glowy. I love this concealer. This bronzer. Do you see how this bronzer has just like warmed my face up completely? Look at this. Look at this. And here, like once I put everything else on, it doesn't look terrible. I still don't love it, but it's not like awful. But then this bronzer is magic, so that's not really shocking. But also I don't feel like I should have to like do this much to make a foundation work. But yeah, my nose is still looking quite textured, which I don't like. All right, so we've done that. I think I'm gonna go ahead and spray. I'm gonna spray and we're gonna see, we're gonna let it dry. We're gonna see how it does. This is just the e.l.f. spray that's supposed to be like a dupe of the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is the Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. Let's just see how my skin looks. I mean, it looks a bit like, more like skin now. Like it kind of helped everything sink in. I don't know if you can tell the difference. I can see a slight difference in the way that it's sitting now. It's a little less flat. So that's good. All right. So now let's go in with blush. And I'm using a liquid blush, which is one of the reasons why I did not want to go in with powder. So I'm using the Huda Beauty blush filter in Coco Loco. Now I bought this. I tried it once in Vegas and I wasn't happy with it. But I think it was the application that I was using, like the brush that I was using. So I was like, ooh, let me try a different brush. So I'm trying my Wet n Wild, I don't know what this is called. I think it's their contour brush. I got a new one because mine I've had for ages. And I still have the old one I had, so I still can't bring myself to like get rid of that. But the thing that I was having issues with this is that it was going quite patchy on me. And I don't know if it was what I was using or if it was the blush. So that doesn't look patchy. It doesn't look patchy. I will say that I do feel like, and felt that way about the lighter shade is that I do feel like these go quite pink. I was hoping that they would stay more brown. I think if your skin tone is deeper, it's gonna bring out more of those like brownie tones. But if you're my skin tone or lighter, it's gonna pull out more of the reds. But I do love this formula. I have it in the lighter tones, the ones that she came out with in spring of 2024. I really liked it. I really like that. I can't remember what shade I have. I'll put it in the description box what shade the other shade that I have, if I can remember, or I'll put it across the screen if I can remember. But I really liked that shade and I really like this formula. But I do feel like this particular tone is a bit more pigmented and a bit harder to work with. That one, I think, because the shade is quite soft and almost like airbrushed in quality, it's not as hard to work with. But this one is a bit more, and you can kind of see like it's got a lot of pigment to it. I like it, but I don't like it as much as I like the About Face shade in Grand Prix, and these kind of go on the same way, and they're very similar products, similar packaging. This shade stays a bit more brownie in tone, and I also like the way that it blends better as far as like this particular shade. My chair is like all twisted. Hold on a sec. There we go. Now I'm not uncomfortable. All right. So yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate it. I think it'll work for what I want to do today. So I'd already done my brow, so that's done. I do feel like the setting spray helped, guys. I do. I don't know. What do you think? I think my skin is looking a little bit more skin-like and a little bit less flat, which I was very excited about. I'm going to apply a little bit more of my lip balm, and I am currently trying out the Phytosurgence Calm Conditions Lip Balm, and I have the shade Warm Waves. Now, I placed an order for the new mini stipple brush that they came out with for their blushes, and I wanted it because it's just small enough to fit right into the little jar of blush. You can just boom right there and then apply, and it stipples the blush on so beautifully. So I had seen demos of it on the Phytosurgence Instagram stories, and I was like, yes, that brush is mine. It was on my wish list. And then they did like I think it was like a New Year's like surprise sale. It's like, I'm buying that stipple brush. So I ordered the stipple brush. My package came, and then inside they had also included one of these, and I was so excited. So thank you again to Phytosurgence for this lip balm. These are their newest products that they came up with towards the end of last year. And I've never been a lip balm girly because generally speaking, I don't love the way lip balm feels. Like it can feel quite waxy and like it's kind of like a layer on your lips, which is weird because I find with gloss, but for some reason like lip balms, that waxy texture just has always been like not my jam. But what I love about these is that it's so silky. It's so silky and comfortable. The shade is super sheer, and I was really worried that I wouldn't like how sheer it was, but I kind of do. I kind of do. Like I put it on the first time and I was like, oh, well, hello, how are you? I actually really do, and you can build it up a bit. I have very pigmented lips naturally, so whenever something's super sheer, I'm always kind of like, what's the point? Like if it has color, my lips almost always will beat that color down. Like my pigment will take over. My pigment will be the pigment that is there. But this one actually does give a bit of pigment to my lips, and you can build it up a bit. And as you can see, it's quite pretty with the rest of my makeup. If I was doing something super natural and going like, I would just add in some like mascara and call it a day. We're not doing that. We're doing a full eye look and everything. But this, to me, this could be like a look that I do for work, like easily. So yeah, I really like this formula. I'm interested in, there's another color that's kind of, I forget what it's called, but I think it's like Crashing Cadence or something like that. That's also pretty as well. So I feel like if I can get through this one, I'm not going to buy another one. I'm going to see how much I can get through this one. And once I finish this one or get close to finishing it, I might pick up another shade. But yeah, this is beautiful. Let me go grab my eyeshadow primer because, of course, this is the story of my life. I bring everything over here and I'm like, cool, I'm ready. I've got everything I need. And there's always like 4 things that my brain just was like noped out of. So let me grab that and then we can continue. All right, guys, I am applying my eyeshadow primer. It's my usual. This is a new tube, so I don't know if you can count this as new makeup. It's new in that it's new tube, but it is not new to me. It is my go-to eyeshadow primer, which is the About Face Beauty Shadow Fix Primer. Alrighty, so let's get into eyeshadow. So, like I said, I have two shadows here, two palettes rather. I have the Natasha Denona. This is the Mini Eye Sculpt palette. I've had this for a minute, you guys. I got it right when it came out, and I've been using it and testing it out, just seeing how I felt about it. And I really like it. It's so basic, but I really, really like it. This is sort of what I've been dipping into when I just need a little something, something before I put like a shimmer all over my lid. This is what I've been reaching for. So I figure, since I have the new Nomad palette, I'm gonna keep this in just to cover this mirror so it's not blinding you guys. And this doesn't really have any neutrals in it. This is very much a colorful pastel palette. I'm gonna dip into the Natasha Denona for my like crease shade. So I'm going to use the shade Medium, which is this one here, and this is the one that I've really been reaching for. And really I've been working with these three, but mostly these two, because these are like, you know, my jam. So I'm gonna dip into that, and I'm gonna put that all over my crease, like so, just to give it some dimension, because that's what my slightly hooded lids really need. And I'll zoom you guys in a little bit more. There you go. And you can see, like, I didn't do much, but this is why I like to do this when I'm just going in with like a shimmery shade, is that because I have slightly hooded lids, when I put a shimmer on, it can just feel very like flat. It doesn't have, my eye won't have a lot of dimension. But by adding just a little something in my crease and bringing it a little, you know, bringing it a bit up almost to the brow bone, but not quite, it just kind of gives my eyes some more dimension and depth, which I like. And I feel like whenever I try to just go in with one like shimmery shade, I'm never happy, and I always wind up like grabbing a matte nude shade or neutral shade and just like going in with that over the shimmer, because I'm just like, who do I think I am? I can't. All right, so that's all I'm doing. That is, again, that's this shade here. Super easy. It's a Natasha Denona palette. This is one of those palettes. I know a lot of people are like, this is so boring. This is so boring. Yes, yes, it is. That is the point. It is boring. It is basic. It is just what you need, you know? This is something that I can see myself traveling with. This is something that it would be great if you are, you know, kind of like me when you travel with makeup, is that I can get quite utilitarian. I don't like to travel with a lot of makeup and a lot of products. It just is too, it's just like half the time when you travel with a bunch of makeup, you're only utilizing like a quarter to a half of that, and the rest is just taking up space. And the rest is just like adding to your, like, if you check a bag, like your weight limit. So I try not to do that to myself. So for me, this is something that I can see myself packing this and maybe a couple of shimmers, a couple of one and done shadows, and being happy, you know, being good with that, good to go. So I was actually really excited for this, and I've seen some really pretty looks done with this. If you know, the whole new like 90, getting back to the like the 90s matte eye, you can do that with just this and be golden, you know. So I think it was a smart release. I actually think if she was going to come out with something now, like in these past like month or so, it didn't need to be another big palette, because she's come out with quite a few. I like the fact that she came out with something kind of utilitarian and boring. I kind of was like, yeah, that exactly. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you. All right, so let's see what we want to do. Like now, the last time I used this palette, I used these shades here. Well, actually, I really just used these two shades. I could do that again, but I've already done that. So I kind of, if you want to see that look and what it looks like, it is on my last video. It should be the last one before this one goes up. So it was my empties video. And I also filmed another video, but that hasn't gone up yet. But literally all I did was take my Sonia G Soft Shader. You can even still see the color here. Go all into this shade Ski, put it all over, blend it up a little bit, and then put Apres all over that. And that's literally all I did. And then I took a little bit of Chamoix and put it in the inner corner. And that's all I did. Today, I think it's time to play with some other shades. So I think I want to use, and what I might do, actually, do I want to do that? Do I want to do two looks on either eye. I don't know. I'm going to play it by ear here. I'm going to take this Refer 13. Actually, it should be a 14. Hold on a second. All right. Refer 14. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go into the shade Hot Savoir. Hot Savoir. I hope that's right. It is this beautiful, like, plummy, purpley tone here. To go into that, and I'm just going to apply that all in the crease, like so. So, my feelings about this palette, I've only used it once, and what I was actually really excited to see is the idea of pastels for winter. We do usually do pastels in the spring, but there's something about winter pastels, you know, these sort of like muted, pretty, icy, kind of like my sweater, you know, this really pretty, icy, minty tone that's just so nice. It's sort of like a nice break from the normal, like, sort of monotonous tones we get for winter, usually. You know, those sort of like deep tones and, you know, your deep blues and your blacks and your, you know, your neutrals. And one thing that I have been trying to do lately with my wardrobe, and this sweater is kind of like a nod to that, this is a newer acquisition, is to really like bring color into my winter wardrobe in an interesting way. You know, not necessarily like having it to be like bright reds and, you know, blues and things like that, but in like interesting tones or tones that I find exciting. And I really like the shade, this tone of this right here. Yeah, this is pretty. I decided, as you can see, I decided to just do one look because I have to film after this, and I always feel weird having two different eyes on when I'm filming like another video. If I was just filming this one, I probably would do it. But if you want to see a second look, again, I've already done one and it's up. You can see the look itself. I didn't demo it, but you can see. So this is really pretty. This is blended so nicely and it's giving me lots of pigment. So I want to take, do I want to take off piste? Actually, no, I'm going to do the outer corner first. I think I'm going to go into Ballet Blanche, which is this like dark purple, just to deepen up the outer corner. But yeah, I like the idea, oh, that is quite pigmented, of these type of tones for winter because it's like a way to be colorful and still have like a softness, you know, still have that like you have like an interesting color, but it's just soft. It's just subtle but colorful at the same time. I enjoy that. And for me, it's so funny because like I like pastels in theory, but I don't wear them very often. But I usually wear them in the winter. All right, guys, I have completed that on both sides. There is a car outside that's just decided it wants to blow its horn every 5 seconds, and it's probably not even like, it's probably in traffic because, of course, as soon as I decide to film, that's when everyone is out on the streets. Yeah, so I think I want to now take, I think I will. I was gonna not do this, but I think I will anyway. So I'm gonna take, I'm gonna wipe this brush up a little bit though before I do that. I'm gonna take off piste, which is this one, and I think I'm gonna put that on my lid, and then I'm gonna layer a shimmer over that. Oh ho ho! Look at how pigmented that is. Holy crap! Okay, I was not expecting that much pigment, guys. I just like dipped, and oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of pigment. Hold on, let me get control of this situation. I was not expecting that much pigment. That is a lot. Very pretty though. I'm liking my setting spray down. But that's fair. I was not prepared. Okay, Nomad, I see you. This is the thing about pastels in general that I feel like is one of the reasons why I don't wear them as often, and then if I do wear them, I usually prefer them in the winter. And that's because a lot of the times they have that really dark cap, that like white chalkiness to them. And this has that, but it still has pigment to it. Like I don't look at this and I feel like It's chalky. It's just really, really pigmented. So that's nice. Let me just go. I'm just going to go into the corner here because that went places it did not need to go because it just like, okay, there we go. That's really pretty. I was not prepared. Okay. So we're going to take Last Run, which is this one here. And do I want to use my finger or do I want to use a brush? Let's use a brush. Let me grab. It took me a minute, but I was able to find a clean, rougher number 21 because all my brushes are dirty. My goal, my plan, my dream in life is to wash my brushes after I finish filming. Will that happen? I don't know. Well, stay tuned. All right, so I'm gonna take this color. I'm gonna spray my brush because as I'm pulling it, as I'm wiping my brush or brushing my brush, dipping my brush into the shade. It's a little flaky, a little lighter, than less body to it than I was originally expecting it to have. So I kind of want to wet my brush a bit so I can make sure that I'm getting the coverage that I want with this. Yeah. This one is very much, could almost be like a topper shade in the way that it performs. So I would say if you're looking to get more from it, dip your brush. Spray your brush. So I would say wet your brush and maybe put a shade underneath if you're trying to get that shade to really pop. Otherwise, it'll probably perform like a topper shade. And if you like that, if you want that, like, I think this will be good to tap all over the lid if you just want that really sparkly, slightly loose, but still with some pigment to it. I think that Last Run would probably be really good for that. All right, what other shade do I want to use? Do I want to use this one? Do I want to use Apres-Ski? Oh, excuse me. Aiguille du Midi. Do I want to use that? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about what shade to use next. I think this is what I'm going to do. You're seeing my thought process in real time. All right, so I'm going to take more of Last Run and I'm going to take that all over the lid. And then I'm going to go in with a deeper shade that is here because I was looking at it going, I should have used that. So we're going to do that. We're going to pivot. So I'm going to take this all over. I'm taking this all the way to the inner corner, like so. Oh my goodness, that's pretty. This is so pretty. I'm doing it on this side. Brush is wet, or damp rather, not really wet, more damp right now. Okay, so I've taken that. Now I'm gonna take, and I did that on one side of the brush, so I'm gonna flip it and use the other side, and I'm gonna take this shade Vin Chaud, and I'm gonna flip the brush. This one is picking up a lot more product, a lot more shadow. So I would say wet this if you don't want fallout. This is wet just to protect the rest of your makeup. And I'm literally just tapping this over Last Run to just give a bit more dimension as it fades into Last Run. So this is looking a little bit lighter than it probably will look on its own because I'm layering over lighter shades, of course, but that's kind of what I'm going for. This one is far more pigmented in the way, and it picks up far more product just on the brush. My brush isn't wet anymore and it's still picking up quite a bit of product. All right, so that is the top part of the eye. Now let's do the lower lash line. And I think for the lower lash line, I think I want to do some different tones. What if we did some of the blues on the lower lash line? Would that be too much? Would that be too much? I say YOLO, let's try it. So let's do it. All right, so I have two brushes here that I'm going to use. One of them is clean and one of them is not, but the other one, the one that's not clean, has like a neutral tone on it, so it should be fine. So I'm going to take the tone. Actually, I'm going to take Hot Savoy again, just to marry these looks together. So I'm just going to take that to the very outer corner of my lower lash line, like so. Just like that. And now I'm going to dip into the shade Ski, which is this really vibrant, like almost purpley. It's like a blurple. I would call it a blurple. I'm going to wet my brush to keep the shadow on my lid and not all over my face, or on my lower lash line and not all over my face. And I'm going to take that a little bit over, or completely over, honestly. That Hot Savoir shade. I just want it really that to have a little bit of a base. I always feel like when I go in with metallics, just bare under like lower lash line, it doesn't quite translate as easily. Okay, so that is on the lower lash line, and I took that up to here. Now we're gonna take that same brush, I'm gonna wipe it off. It's a good thing that I am washing these when I get done, because that's a lot of blue. It's a lot of blue. So I'm taking Mount Chalet. I am going to wet my brush again because I can see this. And these are applying these are very much performing like very pigmented, easy to lift up, easy to pick up on the brush metallics. But I do think that if I wasn't wetting my brush, I'd probably have quite a bit of fallout. So for that reason, I would suggest, again, wetting your brush. So let's see. Do I want to use this one? Or do I want to use Les Alpes? And this one has like a pink shift. And then this one, let me see. This is the one that I used before that is kind of like a shift between pink and purple and green. That's pretty. But I think I'm going to stick with one of these two. So what do we think? I think this one. I think Les Alpes might be the one. All right. So let me wipe my fingies off. I'm going to dip into that. And yes, I'm going to wet my brush again. Absolutely, because this is one of those like super duper flakies. So again, glitter glue or wet your brush. And I'm thinking, because I still have blue on this, that this is reading quite blue, but that's okay. Ooh, we've got some fallout. All right, guys, so this is the look with before I put on any mascara. I think it's beautiful. I'm going to put on some mascara and then I'll be back and we'll try out some of the other products I have for my cheeks. I put my mascara on. I have to say I'm not loving the way my under eyes are looking. At least this under eye is looking with this concealer and this. And I don't feel like I took that foundation up that high. I have some fallout from the blue, so that's lovely. But I just feel like it was a little heavy here, which is weird. Now it could be because I did have on some tretinoin last night, so it's looking a little, but usually that doesn't mean anything, so I don't know. I'm gonna just do this to help with that because that was looking quite not cute. Okay, so yeah, this eye was looking just a little bit heavier than my under eyes normally look. So just something to think about. All right, so I'm done with my eyes. And let's now go into cheeky cheeks. I did my blush, which you saw, and I love that. But I'm also going to go in with something else today that's kind of going to be like an extra layer. And this is something that I've been doing recently with these products because I really like them. And I like them as sort of like a layer over my traditional blush. And I've been using it a lot with the Phytosurgence blushes. So these are the new Mood Lights from Salt, New York. So I have Mood Light in medium and Mood Light in light. This is just my concealer. I got a new one because I needed one. I hit pan on my and then this is one of their shades, Rust. But these, I got all of these in PR, and I was really excited to try these. I felt like the Mood Light Deep was going to be too deep and would leave like a bit of a shadow on my skin, so I decided to not grab that one. But I did grab Mood Light Medium, so I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. And I'm using this brush. This may not be the best brush for that, but I'm just going to show you what this does for my skin, because I've been applying it over blush and it does add a bit more pigmented because it is pigmented. But do you see how it just gives this like super beautiful glow? And I think you can wear it on its own. I've worn it on its own and it's beautiful. But I like it layered over blushes. of a similar tone, because it just gives them, and especially if your skin is sort of acting like my skin is acting today with this stick foundation where it's feeling a bit heavy, it's feeling like not like your skin is at its best. I feel like these type of products, like the Salt New York products, and really kind of make your skin look like skin again. Like, look how beautiful that is. And then what I've been doing is taking Mood Light, and I've just been taking it and I've been using it as like a highlighter in certain areas. So I like do my nose, because I still highlight my nose. You can't stop me, can't stop, won't stop. So I've just been like applying it in certain areas where I think it will look really pretty. I'd even take it a little bit over the deeper tone, and I'm literally just dipping my finger in and tapping that. And do you see how beautiful that looks? Like, my skin just looks so like skin-like again. And this is how I've been using these. I would say for me personally, I can't really use these as, I don't feel for me that they're quite pigmented enough for like, because you can use these on your eyes as well, and I have, but I feel like they're not quite pigmented enough for my taste, but also I feel like for me on my eyelids, because my eyelids are a bit on the oilier side, I was getting a bit of creasing. Now, I did just apply them. I didn't apply any kind of like primer, so I think I might try them again and try them with some primer and see if they last a little bit longer. But this is how I've been using them, and I've been so happy with how my skin has been looking. Like, even just if I hadn't done my eyes, like when I told you guys that this was like I could finish and that would have been it, I probably would have taken a little bit of this, a little bit of the Mood Light shades, and applied that over just to give my skin some glow. Like, look how much like more alive my skin looks. These are so pretty, and they make your skin kind of look incandescent, which I love. So yeah, so this is the face, giving face, and then we're going to do lips. Now, lips are, I'm planning a lipstick video, and I was kind of decided, like, what am I going to use on my lips? Because I have new stuff coming in, I have some new stuff in, and I'm just sort of like, I don't know. So I decided to try this, and this might be too dark. This is the Maybelline Super Stay Teddy Tint, and I'm going to apply this. And I have worn this before. I really like it. I think it's really pretty. It kind of gives the lips this like, sort of like soft focus look to them, you know? And you can really play that up by how you apply it and then feather it out. So I behind 2 layers. And then what I've been doing is taking my finger and just kind of blurring the edges a bit. I love this. Now, I don't know if it goes well with this eye look, but I was like, you know, I just really wanted to show this to you guys because I think it's so pretty. And this does stain. So this will, you will, like, if you put this on, it is a tint, but it's like a lip stain almost. I had the first time I wore this, I was like, oh, okay. I kind of had the hardest time getting this off. I found like it's almost like a liquid lipstick in the way it takes, how long it takes to get off. I tried micellar water, oil, I tried cleansing balm. It's just, it was a lot. It eventually came off, but it took some work. So just understand that if you get this, especially if you get it in a neutral tone, that might actually work to your advantage because it'll stay on and it's not gonna like go anywhere. I don't know, I kind of like this. Like it doesn't match, but it's like, it's giving something, you know? It's giving something. So let me zoom you guys out so you can see the whole finished look. So this is the finished look. I think it's really pretty. I love my eyes. I'm loving, again, like I said, I love pastels for winter. I think that's kind of my preferred time to wear them, as you can see from my sweater. And I'm really happy with that. The foundation, I don't know, guys. I don't know. 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 The blush, again, I need to try this one a little bit more. So far today, it applied really nicely. It's sort of like 1 for 3 or 1 for 2. What am I saying? I've tried it 3 times, and the first time I did not love it. The second time it was okay. This time is the third time, and I'm enjoying it more. So I think it's just a question of what I'm pairing it with. I think it did well over this foundation, surprisingly. I definitely think it was a good idea to spray my face before I went back in with more makeup after applying that foundation and my bronzer. But yeah, I really like this, and I'm enjoying the Salt New York Mood Lights. These are beautiful. Again, this is one of their like permanent shades. I think the Mood Lights are limited edition. If you're interested in saving some money on your order with Salt, you can use the code Amira. I think it's Amira or Amira 10. I'll look it up, and whatever it is, I'll put it on the screen, and it'll save you some money on these. But I got the shade Rust because I really had my eye on this shade. But do you see it? Look at that. It doesn't really go with this look, which is why I didn't use it today. But do you see how pretty that is? And I'm not really a warm, you know, guys know I'm not like super warm, but I don't know, something about this shade was just really calling to me. And I really wanted to see how it stacked up to Mood Light Medium, which you can see Mood Light Medium is a bit more neutral. And I'll do light in the middle here. But so this is Mood Light Medium, Mood Light Light, and Rust. And this is more my speed. Rust is pretty, and I can see me using this maybe a bit more in the summer. But these are more my speed, you know. They're a bit more neutral. I feel like they're a bit more universal as far as tones go. So yeah, I think right now I prefer those tones to Rust, but I can see me getting some use out of Rust in the warmer months. The Maybelline Teddy Lip Tint. This is, like I said, this is my second time wearing this. I love the way it looks on the lips. It does function kind of like a liquid lipstick, although I will say that this retains some tackiness. So this doesn't dry completely down, and you can kind of see it here. So if you're expecting like that dry feeling of liquid lipstick, you're not going to get that. But you are going to get that like matte look that you would get from a liquid lipstick. And I will say that the tone of it, the color of it is quite sheer in the way that it goes on. You can blend it out and kind of like blur out the edges, which is beautiful. Love that. It is a little bit hard to get off though, I will say that. So yeah, this is the finished look, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of these items in this look. The Nomad palette launched today, because this is going up on Tuesday. So yes, this is launched today. You can use my code Amira to save some money on this bad boy. I still think Nomad is on a winning streak here with their releases, because I really love this. And I honestly love it more than I thought I was going to love it, because I was like, oh, I like pastel. If I'm going to choose pastels, I prefer to use them in the winter, but I don't really choose pastels in general all that much. But I feel like this came out at a perfect time where I was sort of like trying different colors for the winter season. These are still my fave colors from these here. This is like these 2 rows are still my faves from this palette, because I just had so much fun with them. But I also was really excited to use these, and I really love the look that I came up with. It's quite like colorful. Like even though this is a pastel palette, you can see how like rich you can get the colors to be. So don't let the fact that it's sort of like a muted pastel-y leaning palette scare you off. I think you can still do quite bold looks with it. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, guys. If you liked today's video, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.